filler episode, and you guys know how I feel about filler episodes. But I'll do this review. I'll do it just for you. Sorry if there's a shine on my face. I'm trying to avoid it, but I don't, I'm working with the natural light again. This episode opens up back on this bus that the girls are taking to this campsite. And they're still arguing, and then finally the argument dies down, and they arrive at the campsite. Now, this is supposed to be a glamping trip, but Phaedra says that the first part of the camping trip is going to be roughing it, which means that they're going to be outside sleeping in tents in the elements. That's not going to go over well. While the ladies are in their rooms putting their things down, RHOA starts to drop the tea to Marlo about how Kandi had female experiences. And you know what, RHOA, you are going to get dragged at the reunion, and rightfully so. But I know you're probably doing this so because you don't really have much of a storyline, so you have to pretty much do this to, get your coins. I'm not hating, get your coins, sis, but just know you're gonna get dragged at that reunion. May the coon be with you. The ladies are putting their tents together, and I don't care about them putting the tents together because they're not outdoors people, so of course they're going to get it horribly wrong. I'm just concerned about all the food that they brought. If they're just sleeping here overnight, there are coolers full of drinks and buns and meats. That does not seem like a smart decision to put out all this food in a forest situation with animals and bears. Oh my! And then did you see Marlo's bedazzled off can? A lot of people were hating on her about that on Twitter. I loved it. I love the extravaganza of Marlo. I would have definitely done something like that. Not to an off can. You know what? To be honest, I have done something like that before. Do I have it? I have a bedazzled Bath and Body Works spray bottle. I'm a drag queen and I own it. Then the ladies finally sit down to just have some girl time in the woods. And they get ready for this Ask Marlo session. And it starts off really sweet and funny and cute, and then it just turns, and Marlo just starts reading Kenya for filth. Just every issue that she ever felt with her, she was just regurgitating out, and Kenya was being really calm about it. And this is why I think that Marlo has something on Kenya, because Kenya will pop off at anybody about anything. But the minute Marlo says something about her, she's really quiet, she's really calm, she wants it to die down, and she's very apologetic to Marlo. So I'm just Kenya knows that Marlo knows something about her, and she does not want it to get out, so she will not rock the boat with Marlo. So Marlo was still going in on Kenya, and Kenya is still being very calm, cool, and collected. Odd. And then Marlo does this, and to me, she just crossed the line. She started talking about how horrible Kenya is, and that's why her mother doesn't want her, and if her mother doesn't want to be bothered with her, you know that something's wrong. I'm not excusing what Marlo said, and I'm not agreeing with it. What I will say is that I think that it was a really low blow because her and Kenya weren't in an exchange of words. Kenya didn't go low like that. So she didn't say or do anything that warranted that response. So I don't know. For me, I just felt like Marlo really crossed the line there. And again, even when she crossed that line, Kenya's reaction was so chill. And I'm just Marlo knows something. And if she gets a peach next season, I'm telling you, it's because of this tea that she has on Kenya. I'm Kenya, guys, if you go back, Kenya is never this cool with anybody. But she's cool with Marlo, who is horrible to her. Ladies head back to the campus the next morning, so they're done with their roughing it part of the trip. Now they're going to head back to the camp, but Marlo was already there because in the middle of the night, she walked back to the camp because she was just I'm not sleeping in a tent overnight. And again, Marlo was me. I don't think it was extra. I would have done the same exact thing. I don't need to sleep in a tent. I don't need to be in the midst of raccoons, fearing for my life from an attack of a bear who smells all of that food that they have out and sleeping on some hard floor with rocks and sticks. I don't need to do that. I'm already breathing air. I'm already connected to the sun. I'm fine with nature. We are already one. I don't need a camping trip to bring me back. I love Marlo's fashions this entire trip. She showed up in some fur cape and thigh high, whatever. She just looked great. And again, like I don't think it's extra. I think that she's the only one really playing this up for what it is. Like, it's a reality TV show. Yes, you're on a camping trip, but you're there with cameras. Look your best. You know what I mean? If you want to bedazzle and off-cam, bedazzle it. If you want to wear your best bundles and your finest fur cape, do that. You're on TV. This is a time for you to market yourself. I am I'm not like a big reality TV person, but I do watch, my train wreck TV from time to time because it's just fun to escape. But what I do feel like, if you're going to be on a reality TV show and you're going to put yourself at the hands of producers and viewers to comment and, form a story any which way they want to, you might as well get paid nicely or use this reality show, this half an hour, this hour-long reality TV show, as a nice commercial to market yourself for what you can do and put yourself out there so that you can grow into opportunities that you will be able to have the control over. Because in a reality TV show, you don't really have that control. It's the producer's control. So use this opportunity to make more opportunities for yourself that you can produce. Reality TV 101. Hello, Kardashian. While they're at dinner, Phaedra's supposed new bestie, Kenya, brings up her divorce. I told y'all she was never her friend. Never her friend. Anyway, she starts to bring up her divorce and how it's going. And Phaedra, is, really neutral and trying not to, show that she has any emotion about the situation, because you know how Phaedra does. She doesn't let you know that you have her. The only time that she ever stepped outside of herself when I knew that, Kenya had reached a moment that was something that she couldn't cover up was, I think she said something about Apollo, and Phaedra almost hit her with her purse. Remember that? That was the only time Phaedra ever got out of Phaedra, because any other time she's very calculated and she knows how to handle the situation. So anyway, she handled the situation her own Phaedra way. And then Candy makes a comment about, well, when a person goes to jail, doesn't the divorce happen immediately? And listen, Candy, you and Phaedra are not friends. We get it. You have made it very clear that you are not friends and you do not like her. Stop digging at her at every moment that you can get, because it's bothersome. Because Candy does it in times of peace. This was a fun little breakfast for all the ladies to get together. There was no space, or there was not this energy for Candy to come in and try to come at Phaedra. You know what I mean? They weren't having words. It wasn't like a dark cloud over the breakfast. They were just having fun, just talking. It's just I felt, for me watching that, I felt like she just, sucked the soul out of the fun that the girls were having, and it was just so unnecessary. That's the thing. It's unnecessary, her digs at Phaedra. It's unnecessary, and it comes out of nowhere. Now, if, you guys are having a little one-on-one, you guys are talking about each other, fine. But when there's times of peace, why do you have to keep on bringing up issues that you have with her? You don't like her. We get it. Move on. Stop bringing it up all the time. We're over it. We hate it. It makes us feel uncomfortable. So then the ladies go kayaking. It's another fun. They're doing a lot of these little fun, cute events on this camping trip. I'm not an outdoorsy person. I think I've made that pretty clear through this review. But I thought that the things that they did was cute and fun and bonding, fun little activities. I wouldn't have done a lot of them, but it was still fun and cute. Having said that, I feel like I probably wouldn't have done the kayaking thing, but I would not have had the reaction that Sheree had. She was so overboard, screaming, kicking, saying she's going to assault people. It's sis, come on. You don't have to be so extra. Just get out and don't do it. And then they do this free-falling thing. No, I'm Phaedra. She was just I don't test Jesus. If he wanted me to fly, he would have gave me wings. Amen, Phaedra. I was just nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing a free-falling thing. But a lot of the girls did it. A lot of the girls conquered their fears. So it was fun, and it was bonding, and it was cute. Oh, wait, did you see how Portia fell? She's so dramatic. She was... she started all this crying. I was just Portia, you are such a baby. That's the thing. Portia's the baby of the group, and she acts like it. She is such the baby of the group, and she acts like the baby. The problem is the women in this group do not baby her. They are like, nope, you have been babied your entire life because you're naive and you're pretty, and you've just been able to get away with certain things, but the women are just like, nah, you gonna face this. You gonna grow up with us. Now we're at dinner, and I apologize. This is the dinner outfit that Marlo wore. She didn't wear it to breakfast. She wore the fur cape and the thigh highs to this dinner. So we're at dinner, and Kenya decides that this is the appropriate time to apologize to Marlo. She wants to get everything clear. She didn't mean to hurt her. She didn't mean to offend her, and she just apologizes. And then Marlo apologizes, and they squash it. Again, I'm standing by my statement. Marlo has something on Kenya because Kenya had no reason to apologize to Marlo. Marlo was horrible to her, and Kenya had already apologized before about not inviting her or whatever. And Marlo has continued to be terrible to her. She had no reason to apologize to her, but she did it. I wonder why. So the Marlo and Kenya issues are squashed. Marlo decides to take it upon herself to address the fakeness at the table. Now, I have said from the beginning that I always think that Marlo should have a peach this season or next season. I think that she is, sorry, Marlo, if you're watching this, probably not. But I feel like she's desperate enough to do what she has to do to make the show into something that viewers want to tune into each Sunday. So I think that she will be willing to make that sacrifice, and plus her fashions. So that's why I do think that she should have a peach. But then she does this, so it was just like, I felt like it was like a little too much, like she was trying a bit too hard. She wants to address the fakeness at the table, and it's just like, you've only been in like 2 scenes. You haven't even been here enough to know about like the issues that they're having. So for you to, I don't know, I just felt like you're a guest. You shouldn't be addressing anything, you know? Let one of the main housewives, you know, address it, not a day player. I just felt like she was out of her lane for that. But she addresses the fakeness at the table, and she says that she asked Kandi if she's a lesbian. Again, I told you, I'm not Team Kandi this season, but that to me was rude. It was just like, you've crossed a line. You know, day players should stay in a day player's lane. You do not, as a day player, address the main cast. Excuse me? But she addresses it, and then Kandi, who was caught. And I'm just like, you know what, Kandi? I didn't believe this lesbian storyline up until that very moment, because Candi's face was so caught. It wasn't even like, you know, when something is not real, Kandi will do like that. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. She did not do that. She was just like, wait. Like, what? And I was just like, oh, Kandi, you caught. Sheree is also looking shook because she knows that she's the one that told Marlo. But it's like, Sheree, you told Marlo because you knew it was going to get back. And then Sheree tries to deflect it off of her. And then she's just like, well, if you know something, then you should say something. And she's trying to like look at Phaedra, and she's trying to look at Portia. And Portia, who I honestly believe was very confused. Because she was just like, and that's not the Portia, like, I'm caught in a lie face. Her caught in a lie face is more of, you know, she's more like, she blinks a lot more and she stutters. But she was really just looking at the table like, who said something? So I really believe that Portia forgot. But not our girl Phaedra. She knew exactly what she said and when. And she thought that maybe Sheree was talking about the stuff that she said about Kandi and Shamia. So, you know, Phaedra with them eyelashes, blinking, reaching for her drink, because I told you, Phaedra loves a sip when she's caught or she's about to lie. So she starts sipping her drink, and then she starts looking around sideways and blinking with them lashes. So Kandi starts to get upset, and rightfully so, you know what I mean? Like, she has just been made the discussion of a table, and in front of like her friend that she bought, and you know, then new people. It was, so I understood her being like upset and like feeling like put on the spot. And then Sheree like starts to say that it was like Portia who said it, says that it was Portia who told her, and Portia was just like, what are you talking about? Because she really forgot. And then Kandi even gets more upset, and then she's just like, and then Marlo's just like, well, have you ever been with a woman? And, you know, Candy's just like, well, you know, I've done some things. And then she asks Portia, and Portia's just like, well, I'm not going to discuss my business. So they are both just like visibly upset. Candy is just like done. And again, she, she should have been. Marla was wrong for that. The whole table was wrong for like engaging in that conversation, because this is the thing. And I knew this was going to happen when Candy and Phaedra got into their little issues, and when they had that meeting and Candy just started putting everything out on the table. I knew this was going to happen because in reality TV, there are certain storylines and certain things that the cast allows the viewers to know. Then there are other things, they're private, they're real lives, that they keep separate from the reality TV show spectacle that they put on for the viewers. Now we're crossing the line, and real stuff, real life stuff is starting to hit the table. Now we're going to get real raw emotions, and it's going to get really nasty. And I don't think they're going to be able to come back from this, because now it's not the reality TV show spectacle storyline. It's like, oh, you're going into my real life, things that I really do in my bedroom, not the stuff that I tell you about or show you, but the real deal. So it's going to get really nasty. Sad, but it's going to be good TV. That basically concludes that dinner. And then the ladies all go over to their separate rooms where they still are discussing what's going on. Candy, her friend Cynthia, and Kenya are discussing what happened with the dinner. And then Candy is talking about how Portia is like an aggressive lesbian, and like when she gets, I guess, drunk or something, she gets really so whatever. Because I remember seeing in the trailer that Portia said that Todd and Candy asked Portia to like be in a threesome with it. So, man, the real life stuff is coming out. So basically, Candy and Portia have been in some type of sexual situation, and it's going to come out later in this season. And I think it's going to get to a point where it's going to be like a whole brawl. I don't think that Candy is ashamed that she's been with a woman. I think that she's ashamed that it's going to be on TV, and people who probably don't know her like that, specifically her mother and her daughter, are going to know just, how experimental and freaky she really is. So that's going to come out later. But this is another thing I wanted to point out. Kenya, who was supposed to be Phaedra's bestie, is just like, oh, did you see Phaedra? She was sweating bullets. And I'm just like, oh, so you over there, cohorts. I'm getting over the flu. Pray for me. Sitting in the room laughing and joking with Candy about someone who you're trying to build this friendship with. You two are these sisters and all this stuff. I'm telling you, I knew she wasn't trustworthy. I knew this wasn't a real friendship. And as you'll see later in the season, it's going to fall apart, and they're going to get right back to hating each other like they were doing back when Kenya was trying to sleep with Apollo. And we head over to Portia, Phaedra, and her sister. They're all in her room, and they're talking about the dinner and what just happened. And then Portia's like giving me real victim, you know what I mean? And she's just like, I can't believe she said those things. She's the one that's been with a woman. She's the one that's like really aggressive to me. And so each one is calling each other the aggressor, like the aggressive lesbian. And Phaedra's acting, Portia is acting really shocked that Candy was saying. She's like, I've never been with a woman. And I'm just like, listen. It is what it is. You know what I mean? If you two have had sex, I think that y'all should just come out and say it and just move forward, because you guys are going to drag this out. And I think you're going to drag it out to a point where it will come off a bit homophobic, because even in like the last few minutes of this episode, it was reading a little bit homophobic to me. So I'm just like, if y'all did it, just admit it and move on to another storyline. Because I feel like if you drag it out and you try to get it to a point where it's just like, I'm not like that, I would never do that, and you actually did. I don't know if it's going to read well for you guys, especially on this station. Listen, y'all better learn from Vanderpump Rules. The gays tune in, okay? So be very careful about how you proceed with this storyline from here on out. But anyway, that's where the episode ended. Next week is going to be messy. The rest of the season is just going to be a hot mess. And I think that's why we were getting a lot of these kind of like filler episodes, because I think from here on out, it's just going to build and build and build until the reunion. Because I think I don't know what episode this is, but I feel like we're winding down. So I think from here on out, we're just going to get like just heightened episodes from here on out until the reunion, which is going to be a hot mess, because They were not nice to each other this season, so I can only imagine what that reunion is going to be like. Either way, I'll be there, and I'll see you next week. Bye.